Ladies and gentlemen, the ceremony will begin momentarily. I would like to take this opportunity to ask you to please find your seats and silence cell phones. Thank you. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of the Commanding Officer, Training Command Newport, welcome to the graduation ceremony for Officer Candidate School, Class 0519, consisting of 75 candidates. Guests are encouraged to take photographs from the viewing area at any time during the ceremony, except during the playing of the national anthem. The order of events for today's ceremony is as follows. At 10:30, Captain Nicholson, United States Navy, Commanding Officer of Officer Training Command Newport, and Admiral Frank Caldwell, Director, Naval Nuclear Propulsion Program, the guests of honor for today's ceremony, will arrive. Guests will be asked to rise for the arrival of the official party and remain standing for the playing of the national anthem and invocation. The commanding officer and the guests of honor will address the graduating class, and the class will receive the oath of office by the guests of honor. The graduates will then be recognized through the presentation of their commission by the commanding officer and the guest of honor. Guests will be asked to rise for the playing of the service songs and the final dismissal. Again, allow me to emphasize that you are encouraged to take photographs at any time during the ceremony, with the exception of the playing of the national anthem. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the arrival of the official party and remain standing for the national anthem and invocation. Officer, Training Command Newport, arriving. Naval reactors, arriving. Ladies and gentlemen, Chaplain Suffin will now offer the invocation.
Let us pray. Eternal Father, we come to you in prayer as our first and highest duty, offering our grateful praise for your abundant goodness. Make us aware of your presence and be known among us as the author of strength, mercy, and joy. The character of Class 0519 has been established through suffering and toil. They have been tested and found worthy. May this be no transitory state. May they be known while they serve throughout their lives and long after for their consummate integrity. What they have gained in knowledge and physical strength, match for them now in spiritual will to accomplish far greater things in service to the fleet, the nation, and the world. And may they always recall fondly their formative moments on these grounds. Bless each member of this class team by the measure of what they have generously given. Let them be encouraged by the continued success of these new ensigns. Guide us to honor those united in applause today and the many more they represent who were active in the course of events that led to this celebration. Faithfully we offer these prayers to you, O God, our refuge and shield. Bless those who go forth to stand the watch. May all here gathered find ourselves daily restored, confirmed, strengthened, and established by your mighty hand. In your holy name, amen.
Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. Ladies and gentlemen, Captain Mark Nicholson, Commanding Officer, Officer Training Command, Newport.
Admiral Caldwell, Brigadier General Lunderman, Brigadier General Hires, captains, distinguished guests, family members, friends, and most importantly, soon-to-be commissioned ensigns of Class 0519. Good morning. Good morning, sir. Well, if you skipped your coffee, I'm sure you're awake by now. I'd like to start off by formally thanking and recognizing the members of Navy Band Northeast. They do a fantastic job, and their music is always inspiring. So thank you all for being here this morning. Please join me in recognizing Navy Band Northeast. It's my sincere honor and privilege to be with all of you this morning as we recognize and celebrate the achievement of these 75 young men and women sitting in front of me, America's very best and brightest, as they are commissioned as the newest ensigns in the United States Navy. For the families, I want to thank you not only for making the long trip to be here this morning, but for the performance of your sons and daughters, husbands and wives, brothers and sisters. Your love and support have helped produce the quality individuals seated here and enabled our outstanding team of recruit division commanders, drill instructors, and class officers to further develop them morally, mentally, and physically into future leaders of character and competence. On behalf of the Navy and on behalf of a grateful nation, thank you for your efforts. For Class 0519, profession of naval officers, much like the medical and law professions, requires its members to take an oath. In just a few minutes, your parents, spouses, and loved ones, along with the OTC staff and myself, will bear witness as you raise your right hand and swear a sacred oath to support and defend the Constitution. This oath carries far more obligations than privileges. It carries the obligation to serve in the most trusted institution in America. According to Gallup polls that stretch back for more than a decade, the American people trust the military more than any other institution, a list that includes Supreme Court, Congress, organized religion, police, public schools, our medical system, and our criminal justice system. It is up to you to maintain this trust. George Washington once stated in an address to the officers of the Virginia Regiment, "Remember that it is the actions and not the commission that make the officer, and that there is more expected from him than the title." As an officer, you will be placed in a position to lead and mentor what is truly one of our most valuable national assets, the enlisted men and women of our Navy. The American people are trusting you to care for and lead them in defending our Constitution. I challenge you to maintain and build upon the American people's trust through your actions as a naval officer. I'm extremely proud of the effort you've expended over the last several months. It's my pleasure and honor to welcome you all as naval officer into the wardroom of the world's greatest Navy. I have another honor and privilege this morning, that of introducing our guest speaker, Admiral Frank Caldwell. He received his commission graduating with distinction from the United States Naval Academy in 1981. He commanded USS Jacksonville, SSN 699, Submarine Development Squadron 12, Submarine Group 9, and the Submarine Force U.S. Pacific Fleet. Admiral Caldwell now serves as the 7th Director of the Naval Nuclear Propulsion Program. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming this morning's guest speaker, Admiral Frank Caldwell.
Good morning, everyone. It's great to be here in Newport. You know, this is my favorite place to visit in the summertime. I'm honored to be here to congratulate and welcome our newest officers to the fleet, and Captain Nicholson, thanks to you and your phenomenal team for the great work that they've done, something to be very proud of. You know, this is an exciting day. It's an exciting day for our graduates, and I think rightfully so. When I think of the Navy and the things that our fleet does every single day, I am extremely proud to be in this organization. We are a global Navy. Think about this. Tonight, somewhere out there on the ocean is a carrier. The CO turns the carrier into the wind and sets flight quarters. It will be a late night for the men and women manning the flight deck, launching aircraft, or monitoring operations in combat, or driving the ship. The first launch of the night is a young lieutenant who's headed to support troops in combat on the ground, thousands of miles inland, only reachable by carrier-based aircraft. The countless details that have come together on this carrier to launch each aircraft are frankly mind-boggling. Separately, halfway across the world, there is a ballistic missile submarine operating quietly, covertly, unknown, on alert status. No one knows its location except for a small number of people. Every member of the crew, from the CO to the youngest seaman, knows how to do their job. They carry out their duties quietly, operating one of the most complex machines in the world. Their mission is the cornerstone of our national defense. And yet elsewhere in the ocean, there is a bridge team on a U.S. destroyer, successfully, skillfully, and professionally maneuvering and operating in the vicinity of a Russian warship, perhaps a Chinese warship, or an Iranian surface ship. They've been doing this for days, and they're very good at it. To the external observer, the impressive confidence of the young 23-year-old officer of the deck diffuses the obvious tension of the moment, and every member of the bridge team is inspired with confidence. Folks, these stories are true. They represent only a small fraction of what our Navy does every single day. This is the Navy that our graduates are joining. In today's world, the oceans, our workplace, are more crowded, contested, and congested than ever before. We find ourselves in the position of returning to great power competition, this time with Russia and China. We are competing for influence on a global scale. This is a world where a strong U.S. Navy matters substantially and may be the most important fighting force in our Department of Defense. So graduates, congratulations on joining this phenomenal team. I can tell you with certainty that the fleet needs you anxiously awaits you and can't wait till you join. I'd like to offer a special welcome to our family members and friends who have supported our officer graduates through this very challenging course of instruction. Your support is and will continue to be vitally important to these officers as they head out and take on their service to the nation. What your sons, daughters, spouses, friends have accomplished by graduating from Officer Candidate School is no small feat. It is something you should be very, very proud of. For perspective, only about 1/4 of the U.S. population qualifies to serve in our military. And of that, only a small percentage is still qualified with the grades and scores to be able to be accepted into Officer Candidate School. This graduation today represents the next step in joining the fleet and some very exciting opportunities. To be part of a highly respected Navy team, to be part of something bigger than themselves, to learn, to lead, and quite honestly, to have a front row seat to the history of our nation. Our graduates will have a lot on their plate. In their first year of service, they will be challenged with initial qualifications, running their first divisions, learning how to drive ships, aircraft, submarines, or learning to work in one of the many organizations that support our warfighters. All of them playing an essential role in making our Navy the greatest Navy in the world. As with any endeavor, there will be great days and there will be some challenging days. In my own experience over some 38 years of service, my parents, my in-laws, my spouse have been the sustaining foundation that I could always rely on. At first, I was successful because of them, and the longer I stayed in the Navy, I was successful for them. They served as the constant source of motivation and a deep well of emotional support. I can tell you, having been on the receiving end, there's nothing like a card or an email or a call from home to renew your energy. And I would add that an occasional chow package helps as well. I would say at least once a month, perhaps even more frequently. Hey, here's the bottom line. I encourage you to take an active role. Our Navy is great because of our people and because of our Navy families and their love and support for their service members. So congratulations to our families and friends. You celebrate and you win today as well. Now I turn my last remarks to our graduates. When I sat where you are, this is back in 1981, and yes, that was a very long time ago, I recall feeling supercharged about being a naval officer. Admittedly, I was really intimidated about what to expect in the fleet. What I learned was that my initial training prepared me well, not only for my days as an ensign, but also for a career that has taken me around the world submerged, above the Arctic Circle, far into the Southern Ocean, on many patrols and deployments, some to places that we can't mention here, and also to my most challenging assignments, deep into the dark, deep halls of the Pentagon. Yes, it's worth laughing at that. Many of you are probably thinking as I did, am I good enough? Will I succeed? Will I meet the mark? Well, I can tell you that you can and you will. And you'll do that by working as a team and by taking on each task individually. I promise that you will grow professionally and personally in ways that you have yet to imagine. The foundation you received here at Officer Candidate School will serve you well. I have a few thoughts for you. And remember, this comes from a guy who spent a few years at sea, had the privilege to lead our sailors, and to learn a few things along the way. My first comment for you is be excited. Our work is tremendously rewarding. We operate amazing equipment and systems only to be outdone by the amazing commitment of our people. Excitement is contagious. It's a force multiplier. One officer can set the mood for the entire wardroom, can set the tone for the entire wardroom, and I think you should aspire to do so. Be bold. All of us have things that scare us a little bit. It might be standing up in front of that watch team. It might be standing up in front of your division for the first time, or it might be that first briefing to the admiral, or taking the officer of the deck on the midwatch, or that first experience on the flight deck. I can guarantee you that all who have gone before you have felt these same things. What I've learned is that confronting these challenges makes us grow into better officers, people, and leaders. Third, be a leader. Take charge, own it. Leaders are made by doing, not watching. And fourth, be honest and accountable. You will not know everything, and you will make some mistakes. No one expects you to be perfect. If something goes wrong, tell the captain what happened, what you learned, and what you're doing about it. It's never too late to correct an inaccurate report or to tell your boss that something went wrong. In my experience, earlier is always better. And these are good times to use the I word, as in, when this thing went wrong, I gave the wrong order. I did not ensure the team was ready. Here's what I learned, and here's what I am doing about it. Fifth, be humble. You are part of a Navy team. Other than days like today, it's always about the team. Sailors have tremendous respect for humility. When things go right, this is a good time to use the we word, as in, we did this. My team made this happen. And finally, folks, be yourselves. The crew will see through a leadership persona that's inconsistent with your personality. Each of you brings unique talents and perspective to the fleet. We need that. We need your energy. We need your insights. We need you to do the important work that lays ahead of you. In closing, as you commission today, I want you to know that you are our future. As you take the oath, you now have a role to protect and defend the Navy's legacy. America and the freedom-loving people around the world look to you to represent us and to defend the freedoms that we value so dearly. I wish you great success as you embark on your naval careers, and I look forward to seeing you in the fleet. God bless the United States Navy, and thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for your great support.
The graduating class will now receive the oath of office. Would all military personnel in uniform please come to the position of attention? Class 0519, raise your right hand.
I state your name.
I,
Having been appointed and enlisted in the United States Navy,
having been appointed and enlisted in the United States Navy,
do hereby accept such appointment,
do hereby accept such appointment,
and do solemnly swear
and do solemnly swear
that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States
that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same,
that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same,
that I take this obligation freely,
that I take this obligation freely,
without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion,
without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion,
and that I will and faithfully
that I will well and faithfully
discharge the duties
discharge the duties
of the office in which I am about to enter.
of the office of which I am about to enter.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. The graduates assembled will now be recognized by the commanding officer and guests of honor for their achievements while undergoing training here at Officer Training Command Newport. Ensign Alstead. Ensign Alstead is a distinguished naval graduate. Ensign Alstead has been designated a Naval Intelligence Officer and will be assigned to the Naval Intelligence Officer Basic Course in Dam Neck, Virginia. Ensign Alstead is a graduate of University of Wisconsin, Madison. Ensign Augustine. Ensign Augustine has been designated a student naval aviator and will be assigned to aviation pre-flight indoctrination in Pensacola, Florida. Ensign Augustine is a graduate of University of Tennessee, Knoxville. Ensign Bachelor. Ensign Bachelor has been designated a student naval aviator and will be assigned to aviation pre-flight indoctrination in Pensacola, Florida. Ensign Bachelor is a graduate of University of North Florida. Ensign Berry. Ensign Berry is a distinguished naval graduate. Ensign Berry has been designated a cryptologic warfare officer and will be assigned to the Center for Information Warfare Training in Damnick, Virginia. Ensign Berry is a graduate of University of North Dakota. Ensign Bloom. Ensign Bloom has been designated a student naval aviator and will be assigned to aviation pre-flight indoctrination in Pensacola, Florida. Ensign Bloom is a graduate of Townsend University. Ensign Bradfeud. Ensign Bradfeud is a distinguished naval graduate. Ensign Bradfeud has been designated a student naval aviator and will be assigned to aviation pre-flight indoctrination in Pensacola, Florida. Ensign Bradfeud is a graduate of Harding University. Ensign Brown. Ensign Brown has been designated a student naval flight officer and will be assigned to aviation pre-flight indoctrination in Pensacola, Florida. Ensign Brown is a graduate of the University of Missouri. Ensign Browning. Ensign Browning is a distinguished naval graduate. Ensign Browning has been designated a student naval aviator and will be assigned to aviation pre-flight indoctrination in Pensacola, Florida. Ensign Browning is a graduate of Hampden-Sydney College. Ensign Browning. Ensign Browning has been designated a student naval aviator and will be assigned to aviation pre-flight indoctrination in Pensacola, Florida. Ensign Browning is a graduate of West Virginia University. Ensign Karff. Ensign Karff has been designated a student naval flight officer and will be assigned to aviation pre-flight indoctrination in Pensacola, Florida. Ensign Karff is a graduate of University of South Florida. Ensign Carleton. Ensign Carleton has been designated a student naval aviator and will be assigned to aviation pre-flight indoctrination in Pensacola, Florida. Ensign Carleton is a graduate of Western Illinois University. Ensign Colley. Ensign Colley has been designated a nuclear submarine officer and will be assigned to Nuclear Power School in Charleston, South Carolina. Ensign Colley is a graduate of Florida State University. Ensign Cook. Ensign Cook has been designated a surface warfare officer and will be assigned to USS Lassen in Mayport, Florida. Ensign Cook is a graduate of University of Idaho and of Arizona State University. Ensign Corner. Ensign Corner has been designated a Civil Engineer Corps officer and will be assigned to Civil Engineer Corps Officer School in Port Hueneme, California. Ensign Corner is a graduate of University of the Pacific. Ensign Chrysostomo. Ensign Chrysostomo has been designated a student naval flight officer and will be assigned to aviation pre-flight indoctrination in Pensacola, Florida. Ensign Chrysostomo is a graduate of University of California, Santa Barbara. Ensign Davis. Ensign Davis has been designated a student naval aviator and will be assigned to aviation pre-flight indoctrination in Pensacola, Florida. Ensign Davis is a graduate of Florida Gulf Coast University. Ensign Doherty. Ensign Doherty has been designated a student naval flight officer and will be assigned to aviation pre-flight indoctrination in Pensacola, Florida. Ensign Doherty is a graduate of University of South Florida. Ensign Elander. Ensign Elander has been designated a student naval flight officer and will be assigned to aviation pre-flight indoctrination in Pensacola, Florida. Ensign Elander is a graduate of State University of New York, the college at Brockport. Ensign Evans. Ensign Evans has been designated a student naval flight officer and will be assigned to aviation pre-flight indoctrination in Pensacola, Florida. Ensign Evans is a graduate of St. Petersburg College. Ensign Fuller. Ensign Fuller has been designated a student naval aviator and will be assigned to aviation pre-flight indoctrination in Pensacola, Florida. Ensign Fuller is a graduate of Liberty University. Ensign Goff. Ensign Goff is a distinguished naval graduate. Ensign Goff has been designated a student naval aviator and will be assigned to aviation pre-flight indoctrination in Pensacola, Florida. Ensign Goff is a graduate of Pepperdine University. Ensign Gonzalez. Ensign Gonzalez has been designated a student naval aviator and will be assigned to aviation pre-flight indoctrination in Pensacola, Florida. Ensign Gonzalez is a graduate of Virginia Tech. Ensign Hiller. Ensign Hiller has been designated a student naval flight officer and will be assigned to aviation pre-flight indoctrination in Pensacola, Florida. Ensign Hiller is a graduate of Jacksonville University. Ensign Holland. Ensign Holland has been designated a student naval aviator and will be assigned to aviation pre-flight indoctrination in Pensacola, Florida. Ensign Holland is a graduate of California State University, Los Angeles. Ensign Holt. Ensign Holt has been designated a student naval aviator and will be assigned to aviation pre-flight indoctrination in Pensacola, Florida. Ensign Holt is a graduate of Texas Tech University. Ensign Jackowitz. Ensign Jackowitz has been designated a surface warfare officer and will be assigned to the USS Halsey in Pearl Harbor, Hawaii. Ensign Jackowitz is a graduate of the California Maritime Academy. Ensign Jimenez Brana. Ensign Jimenez Brana has been designated a student naval aviator and will be assigned to aviation pre-flight indoctrination in Pensacola, Florida. Ensign Jimenez Brana is a graduate of Inter-American University. Ensign Jones. Ensign Jones has been designated a student naval flight officer and will be assigned to aviation pre-flight indoctrination in Pensacola, Florida. Ensign Jones is a graduate of Palm Beach Atlantic University. Ensign Jones. Ensign Jones has been designated a naval intelligence officer and will be assigned to the Naval Intelligence Officer Basic Course in Damnick, Virginia. Ensign Jones is a graduate of University of St. Andrews. Ensign Kreismeyer. Ensign Kreismeyer has been designated a student naval flight officer and will be assigned to aviation pre-flight indoctrination in Pensacola, Florida. Ensign Kreismeyer is a graduate of York College of Pennsylvania. Ensign Coons. Ensign Coons has been designated a student naval flight officer and will be assigned to aviation pre-flight indoctrination in Pensacola, Florida. Ensign Coons is a graduate of Georgetown University. Ensign Milinarski. Ensign Milinarski has been designated a student naval aviator and will be assigned to aviation pre-flight indoctrination in Pensacola, Florida. Ensign Milinarski is a graduate of Cornell University. Ensign Moore. Ensign Moore has been designated a Civil Engineer Corps officer and will be assigned to Civil Engineer Corps Officer School in Port Hueneme, California. Ensign Moore is a graduate of Valparaiso University. Ensign Moran. Ensign Moran has been designated a Supply Corps officer and will be assigned to Naval Supply Corps School in Newport, Rhode Island. Ensign Moran is a graduate of State University of New York, Empire State College. Ensign Suarez. Ensign Suarez has been designated a Supply Corps officer and will be assigned to Naval Supply Corps School in Newport, Rhode Island. Ensign Suarez is a graduate of University of South Florida. Ensign Wiesinger. Ensign Wiesinger has been designated a student naval aviator and will be assigned to aviation pre-flight indoctrination in Pensacola, Florida. Ensign Wiesinger is a graduate of Binghamton University. Ensign Zaw. Ensign Zaw has been designated a Supply Corps officer and will be assigned to Naval Supply Corps School in Newport, Rhode Island. Ensign Zaw is a graduate of Ashford University. Ensign Brown. Ensign Brown has been designated a cryptologic warfare officer and will be assigned to the Center for Information Warfare Training in Damnick, Virginia. Ensign Brown is a graduate of the University of Virginia. Ensign Everett. Ensign Everett has been designated an oceanography officer and will be assigned to the Fleet Weather Center in San Diego, California. Ensign Everett is a graduate of University of Houston. Ensign Hyde. Ensign Hyde has been designated a student naval aviator and will be assigned to the Aviation Pre-Flight Indoctrination in Pensacola, Florida. Ensign Hyde is a graduate of University of Florida. Ensign Johansson. Ensign Johansson has been designated a cryptologic warfare officer and will be assigned to the Center for Information Warfare Training in Damnick, Virginia. Ensign Johansson is a graduate of St. Olaf College. Ensign Christensen. Ensign Christensen has been designated a surface warfare officer and will be assigned to USS Leyte Gulf in Norfolk, Virginia. Ensign Christensen is a graduate of Creighton University. Ensign Laris. Ensign Laris has been designated a Civil Engineer Corps officer and will be assigned to Civil Engineer Corps Officer School in Port Hueneme, California. Ensign Laris is a graduate of Virginia Military Institute. Ensign Lane. Ensign Lane has been designated a student naval flight officer and will be assigned to Aviation Pre-Flight Indoctrination in Pensacola, Florida. Ensign Lane is a graduate of University of Oklahoma. Ensign Lou Pratt. Ensign Lou Pratt has been designated a Supply Corps officer and will be assigned to Naval Supply Corps School in Newport, Rhode Island. Ensign Lou Pratt is a graduate of National University. Ensign Malone Patterson. Ensign Malone Patterson has been designated a surface warfare officer and will be assigned to the USS Barry in Yokosuka, Japan. Ensign Malone Patterson is a graduate of University of Houston, downtown. Ensign Nichols. Ensign Nichols has been designated a student naval aviator and will be assigned to Aviation Pre-Flight Indoctrination in Pensacola, Florida. Ensign Nichols is a graduate of University of Baltimore. Ensign Ochoa. Ensign Ochoa has been designated a student naval flight officer and will be assigned to Aviation Pre-Flight Indoctrination in Pensacola, Florida. Ensign Ochoa is a graduate of California State University, San Bernardino. Ensign O'Neill. Ensign O'Neill is a distinguished naval graduate. Ensign O'Neill has been designated a student naval aviator and will be assigned to Aviation Pre-Flight Indoctrination in Pensacola, Florida. Ensign O'Neill is a graduate of Embry-Riddle Aeronautical University. Ensign Paxson. Ensign Paxson has been designated a student naval aviator and will be assigned to Aviation Pre-Flight Indoctrination in Pensacola, Florida. Ensign Paxson is a graduate of the Washington State University. Ensign Pickens. Ensign Pickens is a distinguished naval graduate. Ensign Pickens has been designated a student naval flight officer and will be assigned to Aviation Pre-Flight Indoctrination in Pensacola, Florida. Ensign Pickens is a graduate of Richmond American International University. Ensign Plant. Ensign Plant has been designated a student naval flight officer and will be assigned to Aviation Pre-Flight Indoctrination in Pensacola, Florida. Ensign Plant is a graduate of University of Maryland, College Park. Ensign Pretzer. Ensign Pretzer has been designated a nuclear submarine officer and will be assigned to Nuclear Power School in Charleston, South Carolina. Ensign Pretzer is a graduate of University of California, Irvine. Ensign Prusecki. Ensign Prusecki has been designated a student naval aviator and will be assigned to Aviation Pre-Flight Indoctrination in Pensacola, Florida. Ensign Prusecki is a graduate of Purdue University. Ensign Quinones. Ensign Quinones has been designated a surface warfare officer and will be assigned to USS Russell in San Diego, California. Ensign Quinones is a graduate of Concordia College. Ensign Rapp. Ensign Rapp has been designated a Civil Engineer Corps Officer and will be assigned to Civil Engineer Corps Officer School in Port Hueneme, California. Ensign Rapp is a graduate of Manhattan College. Ensign Rigby. Ensign Rigby has been designated a Student Naval Aviator and will be assigned to Aviation Pre-Flight Indoctrination in Pensacola, Florida. Ensign Rigby is a graduate of the Florida State University. Ensign Robinson. Ensign Robinson has been designated a Surface Warfare Officer and will be assigned to USS Ralph Johnson in Everett, Washington. Ensign Robinson is a graduate of Texas State University. Ensign Robinson. Ensign Robinson has been designated a Surface Warfare Officer and will be assigned to USS James E. Williams in Norfolk, Virginia. Ensign Robinson is a graduate of Oklahoma State University. Ensign Rodriguez. Ensign Rodriguez has been designated a Surface Warfare Officer and will be assigned to USS Germantown in Sasebo, Japan. Ensign Rodriguez is a graduate of University of Iowa. Ensign Ronigan. Ensign Ronigan has been designated a Student Naval Aviator and will be assigned to Aviation Pre-Flight Indoctrination in Pensacola, Florida. Ensign Ronigan is a graduate of the Great Lakes Maritime Academy and Ferris State University. Ensign Rouleau. Ensign Rouleau has been designated a Surface Warfare Officer and will be assigned to USS Princeton in San Diego, California. Ensign Rouleau is a graduate of American Military University. Ensign Strout. Ensign Strout has been designated a Student Naval Aviator and will be assigned to Aviation Pre-Flight Indoctrination in Pensacola, Florida. Ensign Strout is a graduate of Hamlin University. Ensign Scholstad. Ensign Scholstad has been designated a Student Naval Aviator and will be assigned to Aviation Pre-Flight Indoctrination in Pensacola, Florida. Ensign Scholstad is a graduate of University of South Florida. Ensign Sos. Ensign Sos has been designated a Student Naval Aviator and will be assigned to Aviation Pre-Flight Indoctrination in Pensacola, Florida. Ensign Sos is a graduate of University of Guam. Ensign Starnes. Ensign Starnes has been designated a Student Naval Aviator and will be assigned to Aviation Pre-Flight Indoctrination in Pensacola, Florida. Ensign Starnes is a graduate of Florida Gulf Coast University. Ensign Stevor. Ensign Stevor has been designated a Student Naval Aviator and will be assigned to Aviation Pre-Flight Indoctrination in Pensacola, Florida. Ensign Stevor is a graduate of Central Washington University. Ensign Thompson. Ensign Thompson has been designated a Surface Warfare Officer and will be assigned to USS Ramage in Norfolk, Virginia. Ensign Thompson is a graduate of the University of New Hampshire. Ensign Trujillo. Ensign Trujillo has been designated a Surface Warfare Officer and will be assigned to USS Momsen in Everett, Washington. Ensign Trujillo is a graduate of Excelsior College. Ensign Vogel. Ensign Vogel has been designated a Student Naval Flight Officer and will be assigned to Aviation Pre-Flight Indoctrination in Pensacola, Florida. Ensign Vogel is a graduate of Old Dominion University. Ensign Wall. Ensign Wall has been designated a Student Naval Aviator and will be assigned to Aviation Pre-Flight Indoctrination in Pensacola, Florida. Ensign Wall is a graduate of University of Mississippi. Ensign Ward. Ensign Ward has been designated a Student Naval Flight Officer and will be assigned to Aviation Pre-Flight Indoctrination in Pensacola, Florida. Ensign Ward is a graduate of Texas A&M University. Ensign Willis. Ensign Willis has been designated a Surface Warfare Officer and will be assigned to USS Philippine Sea in Newport, Florida. Ensign Willis is a graduate of University of North Florida. Ensign Wolfman. Ensign Wolfman has been designated a surface warfare officer and will be assigned to USS Howard in San Diego, California. Ensign Wolfman is a graduate of Stony Brook University. Ensign Zamora. Ensign Zamora has been designated a student naval aviator and will be assigned to aviation pre-flight indoctrination in Pensacola, Florida. Ensign Zamora is a graduate of University of Illinois at Chicago. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in recognizing the United States Navy's newest ensigns. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the playing of the service songs and the final dismissal. Please remain in your places until after the graduating class has taken their class photo. On behalf of the Commanding Officer, Officer Training Command Newport, thank you for attending today's ceremony. Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes the graduation ceremony.